and welcome to Data Ki Baat. Education is the manifestation of perfection present already in the man, right? What an empowering statement, what an empowering quote from the world famous monk, Swami Vivekananda. No matter what is your profession, you are already perfect in whatever you are trying to do. Either you are maybe you are a business person, or you are having your own consultancy, or you are doing a job, but you are perfect in your own way, right? So perfection is already present in you. So when we are talking about continuing education, which is a topic for today, what it means to me is that when we start gaining more knowledge, we start adding skills to our already existing perfection or a skill. What we do is that we add to that existing perfection and we become more perfect, more clear, more refined in whatever we are trying to do, or maybe convey, or maybe give service, right? That's the whole uh, thought and idea for today's conversation. So today I have with me Dr. Anne Mary Smith, and I'm going to welcome her to the show of Data Ki Baat today, and it's the first show of this year. So happy New Year to all of you in India, and happy Makar Sankranti as well, right? So without any further delay, let me welcome Dr. Anne Mary Smith.
So Dr. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sanjeev, and I am honored to be here at Data Ki Baat.
Great. So how about starting with a quick introduction, very quick, and what is something that you do with EWSolutions, and otherwise, that will be really helpful. And Maggie.
Okay, thank you, Sanjeev. I am the Vice President of Education and a principal consultant for EWSolutions, which is a data management consultancy. All we do is enterprise data management. It's been my whole career. And I am also the executive editor of an online journal focused on enterprise data management called Data Management U, as in university.com. I have a background in data management in just about all the areas. And I've taught this at universities as well. In fact, my Ph.D. and MIS, the concentration is enterprise data management. I have a bunch of certifications as well. So today's discussion on continuing professional development is, as they say, right up my street.
Great. I mean, that's the reason I think we connected, I must say. Yes. And I really wanted to bring that, conversation right here. On the very beginning of the year, because this is the time when people really do a lot of commitment to themselves, right? Like New Year resolutions, right? I want to complete this, or probably I want to add this skill, and all of those, right? So I thought, as a data professional, and obviously I want to do a disclaimer that it is beneficial for everybody. It's not about data professional, but since we belong to that data fraternity, data community, I am going to focus on data professional and how they can really, look at the professional education, how can they enhance that, and what does this mean, why it is important, right? So can you share your thought on why continuing education or professional development or earning certification is important to data professionals?
Thank you for asking, Sanjeev. Continuing education is part of your development as a professional. As you said, it doesn't matter the profession you're in.
Right.
Everybody has the capability to improve the level of perfection they've already attained. Think of a diamond. A diamond has many facets. Similarly to a diamond, a human being has many facets. One of them is the development that they can produce as a professional. Whether you are a professional as a lawyer, a business analyst, a data management, data governance, database administrator, there are things you already know. But if you want to increase your knowledge, your skills, your capabilities, and you want to increase yourself as a person, the way to do that is through continuing professional personal development. Now, people use the phrase continuing education and professional development, and sometimes they mean them differently. I don't. Part of the development of a person more thoroughly is engaging in learning all the time, formal or informal.
Okay. I mean, that's really interesting, and you say engaging, right? And that's a word I'm picking and trying to build my next, train of thought right here. That when we are talking about engagement, what I mean, it comes down to, right, people will have a different way of educating themselves, right? I mean, everybody is different. I mean, me and you and probably everyone has a different, ways of consuming content, consuming and learning and trying to enhance their existing skills, right? So what are the common ways that, methods of really continuing that drive, engaging, constant engagement, constant learning, right? So what are those common methods that you think would be something that we need to know?
There are a variety of common methods. Those methods apply regardless of the profession, regardless of the level of skills someone has acquired. One way is continuing formal education, such as a university degree, a university program, some other formal development. A certification, for example, that requires a length of study before sitting for and writing an exam. That's another form of professional development that's formal. Those are the most commonly thought of. But there are also informal ways. And for many people, once they have achieved some level of education, for example, a university degree, some level of certification in their profession, they may think, I'm done with that. I don't need to do any more. That is truly wrong. Informal professional development becomes even more important at that point. And there are many ways to continue informal professional development. One of them is reading in your profession, but not necessarily because you're taking a degree or you're studying for a certification exam. You're reading because you're reading more about the profession, your area in it, or related areas, and you're developing your knowledge informally on your own time. Another way is participating in activities in professional organizations, such as DAMA, the Data Management Association. Since we're focused on data at Data Kibat, let me mention the fact that becoming a member of DAMA and participating in the various educational, professional development activities DAMA offers is one of the best ways for a data management professional to continue their professional development and their informal education. Also, if you're a member of DAMA, you probably want to enroll and write the Certified Data Management Professional exams to demonstrate formally that you have this level of educational experience, skills, and competence. So there are both formal ways to do it and informal ways to do it, and they're both important. For people that don't have a university degree but are working, maybe you want to start pursuing a university degree to advance in your career, especially if you want to become a manager. Most professions require that you have some level of formal university study. You don't need a Ph.D. to do that, but you may want to focus on completing your undergraduate degree, your first level. If you already have a university degree, you may want to go formally for some form of second degree, master's degree. That's also very important if you intend to advance in your career, let's say in a more senior level management position or as a consultant. Having the extra university degrees is very important. But if you decide, I have a bachelor's degree, an undergraduate degree, I'm fine. That's all I want to do from a university perspective. There are many certifications that one can study for and earn that are just as useful. And we can spend quite a bit of time talking about the various certifications data professionals should examine and then earn.
Right. So here's the thing. I mean, I was, listening and really engrossed into the conversation and the answer that you are kind of trying to acknowledge, you're trying to share with us. At the same time, right, my mind was framing this one thing which I really wanted to, and I have observed that mainly, right? When we talk about data, there is a great inclination that people almost immediately think about, let's get into some kind of analytics, right? Again, I'm not against that piece, right? What I'm trying to say is that how good is to really get fascinated, diverted, or maybe since everybody's doing, that's the only way to go. What should be the approach of people when they think about data? Because when I talk about DEMA or such organization, the foundation is being talked about most of the time, first of all, right? And then they talk about how do you build upon that foundation and get to that analytics and insight, right? How what should be the approach of people, right? I mean, should they think about analytics and all of those and not worry about the basics like DEMA or data governance and quality and all of those, right? What are your thoughts on that? Because there is a lot about analytics and not about the basic foundation.
That's a real problem with data these days, because I see many instances of what you're saying, Sanjeev, where someone mentions the need for data and the person hearing it automatically leaps to a need for analytics, business intelligence, data science, some form of advanced use of data.
Right.
That's what we say here in the United States, putting the cart before the horse. Okay?
Good one.
You really need the horse of the foundations to be able to drive and pull the cart of analytics, data science, business intelligence. If a person does not understand the foundations of data management, what it is, and just as importantly, what it is not, what the components of data management are, data governance, data quality, metadata management, master and reference data management, data integration, database management and design, data architecture, etc. Those foundational components make it possible for someone to understand and then implement activities like data science, analytics, business intelligence. If you don't have a good understanding of the foundations of data management, of why understanding the difference between data and information and how they contribute to knowledge is important. If you don't understand what metadata is and how valuable the context, which is what metadata is, the context around the raw facts, and if you don't understand what quality is concerning data and how to achieve it, you will never be able to implement an effective analytics program. And I don't mean program meaning code. I mean an analytics operation.
Right.
You won't be able to do business intelligence properly. And you definitely won't be able to do the advanced data science, because a data scientist really has to have the skills of not just manipulating data, but understanding what the quality of the data they've been given is, and if that's sufficient. And if it's not, how to improve it. They have to understand the metadata, where to get it, why they need it, and how to use it. And they have to understand the policies, practices, rules, and procedures that create it, stored, and manage that data, which is data governance. If you don't have that foundational understanding, your activities in data science and analytics and business intelligence will not be fruitful. So if you think of it, data management and its components is the horse that's pulling the cart of advanced analytics, of data science, of business intelligence. So don't make that immediate leap into data science without understanding that foundation of all the areas of data management I've talked about.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I think that gives a lot of, I would say, uh, support to the thought that I was carrying, right? And this example of putting the, horse, the horse is basically a foundation that pulls the cart rather than,
Yes.
great. So I always think, like, I mean, we all have heard about this statement, and it's very empowering also. I love metaphors because it drives the main foundational message home very quickly. And someone said way back in the past that data is the new oil, right? And it was obviously very empowering. It kind of changed everything. People suddenly started understanding that it is indeed a very important asset to the organization. We got to care about it. We got to really manage it well, and all of those good things. But and surprisingly, right, we have not seen that really taking place. I mean, though we are talking, but there is still a huge gap, right? We are still, repeating that statement, but the behavior is not showing that we have really taken care of that piece, right? Why
Right.
I'm why I'm saying this and why I brought that statement is that how, I mean, in your experience, when you're talking to people, you're training people, you're consulting companies, right? What are the things that you have found people and organization not doing that they should be really doing to thrive with data?
Those are excellent questions. And the phrase data is the new oil, Sanjeev, is both a wonderful metaphor and an albatross around the necks of data professionals. Why? Because people don't see oil. They only see what happens when we have it or don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem I see is that even now, most people and most organizations, whether it's a commercial organization, a government entity, a nonprofit, see data as purely an IT asset, if they even think of it as an asset, or an IT problem.
Mm-hmm.
Data belongs to the business side, the operations. Doesn't belong to IT, belongs to the organization as a whole. And without that realization, many organizations say, from a business perspective, I don't need to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let the IT guys do it. And for IT, now remember, I have degrees in IT, so I'm not denigrating the IT environment at all.
Mm-hmm.
For IT, data is just something they consume. They're more focused usually on the structures, on the code, on the GUI interface, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really focused on data as an asset in itself.
Great.
If we took that analogy of oil,
Mm-hmm.
this would be like Ford Motor Company deciding that their engines can run on anything. It doesn't really matter. No, it requires a specific grade of oil that's been refined into a specific grade of gasoline, and it has to be put in certain areas of the car. You don't want to pour any gasoline into the driver's seat, etc.
Yep.
Without
And
that knowledge, they won't run.
there is a thought coming from Justin Foster. Like oil, data has to be discovered, cultivated, refined, distributed well, and impacts not only the environment in which it is used, but globally. What a great thought, Justin. Thanks for.
Absolutely. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah. And
That's
he also said,
absolutely true.
yeah.
And that's what data management does. Data management and the skills in that a professional develops in data management helps the organization discover and cultivate the data they need.
Mm-hmm.
It helps to refine it, for example, with the higher level of quality, with the metadata that's applied and refined by it on its own, in fact, in some cases, and that it's disseminated appropriately. So like an oil refining operation, which has many components, data management does as well. And some people focus on one of the components, other people focus on others of the components, but they're all very important in the delivery of this important asset. This is called the information age. Well, where does information come from? Data.
Correct.
Information is data in context. So if we are operating in an age where every organization needs information, consumes information, delivers information, then we are operating in an age that needs more attention to data management, to the policies, data governance, to the context, metadata, to the quality, data quality, to the architectures that make it possible to share the data.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So one more comment from Justin here, right? I mean, I saw it late. It just appeared late, but he said data integrity. I think it really aligns with what you just said before the stopping there. That it all depend upon the integrity being. I mean, and that determined by how it is being presented. So that's a very empowering statement there as well.
I would agree. And a synonym for data integrity would be data literacy, because data literacy is determined by the knowledge of data presented. Mm-hmm. And the integrity of the data is its fitness for use. So data literacy is important because you must understand the data that you have available and what data you don't have. And from that, decide how much integrity that data has. Is it useful? Is it fit for use? Right. Is it fit for use in a particular purpose? That's data integrity. Data literacy is understanding the context of the data, how it's presented, where it comes from, how you are going to use it to determine the level of integrity.
Absolutely. Nicely put together. Yeah. So coming back to our, obviously it is all about the education, and that's what you are helping us with, right? So the question that I know people would be thinking in their mind and probably wanted to ask always is that, what are the various certification or common certification that data professional should, know, and they should think about pursuing, and what are the main benefits of doing probably each one of them? I mean, if you can give some example, right?
Okay. If you're a data professional, the first certification you should be aiming for is the Certified Data Management Professional, CDMP, offered by DAMA International. It's considered the gold standard for anybody in the data profession. There are 3 examinations, 3. The first one that everyone must take is Data Management Fundamentals, understanding all the aspects of data management, the pieces of the puzzle, how they're related, why they're related in the ways they are, and what concepts are important in each one of those domains. The second exams, the following one, are based on the specialties you want to develop or you already have developed. There are several specialty examinations. I think there are 8 currently. So a data management professional could find easily 2 specialties they either already have acquired or that they want to study to understand better. Mm-hmm. Data governance, data quality, data architecture, master data management, metadata management, business intelligence, etc. Across the spectrum of those specialty exams, the CDMP makes it possible for a data management professional to demonstrate the depth and breadth of their skills and their experience. Because to earn this designation, you have to have a level of knowledge, a level of study, and a level of demonstrable experience. You can't just write the exams, pass them, and be a CDMP without being able to demonstrate that you have a certain number of years in the profession where you've actually done stuff to support the knowledge that you say you've acquired. Anybody who's a data management professional should be earning the CDMP and should be proud of the fact that they passed the exams at a level high enough to be called a certified data management professional. That's the first one. The second one is a companion It's from a different organization, the International Institute of Business Analysts, IIBA.org. Why do I mention a competing organization? Because many data professionals are also business analysts. And many business analysts are also data professionals.
And if they are not, they need to be, because if data guy is not understanding, they need to really get that feel of business so that they can really, marry that, particular gap that we are always talking about. That
I was just going to say that. Absolutely. If they're not, they should be. Most really experienced data management professionals have acquired sufficient skills as a business analyst to prepare them to study for the CBAP, Certified Business Analyst Professional. There are different levels to it, and I won't go into the details of the different levels, but it's an excellent certification for data management professionals to earn once they've earned the CDMP for exactly the reason you elucidated. There are so many skills that a data management professional should have that are the skills of a business analyst. The next certification, I would say, is the project management professional. Many data management professionals are responsible for project management. They're responsible for either being the project manager or being one of the leaders of a section of a project. It would behoove most data management professionals to study project management for one really good reason. In many organizations, projects are run by IT and they don't include the data professionals. I want to smack them. But if we have a sufficient number of data management professionals who are also project management professionals, they will be able to break into the project management world and demonstrate the value of including the data management functions and the activities and the tasks into the different project management organizations in any entity. There are some other certifications. My husband is a database administrator. He's a lead technical architect. He would be really upset if I didn't mention some of the more technical certifications that are available. Okay. Depending upon the environment in which you're working, many really technical data management professionals would want to pursue certifications in that environment. For example, the Oracle certifications, if you're an Oracle DBA, the Microsoft certifications, if you're in a Microsoft environment, and the IBM certifications, if you're there, the AWS. My brother-in-law, who is a data management professional, just earned his AWS certification. Those are all really important based on the environment in which you work. And if you are choosing to be or have chosen to be a very technical data management professional, those certifications are very valuable, but I would submit that they alone are not the focus of data management professionals. For example, my brother-in-law and my husband are both CDMPs. My husband has Oracle certifications. My brother-in-law has the AWS certifications. They're both very technical, but they've also earned the CDMP for the reason that they know that even as a very technical data management professional, they need knowledge of all of those foundations of enterprise data management to be able to do their very technical job well.
Yeah, they need horse so that they can run the car, right?
Thank you. Yes, they need the horse of the data management certification so they can pull the cart of their technical certifications.
Correct. In the meantime, I'll just interrupt here that there is a thought coming from Tejashwi Adagada. Nice view, Dr. Anne Marie Smith, CDMP, Sanjeev. Thank you very much for mentioning.
Thank you.
It is well appreciated by IT in most organizations that management of data has to be collaborative effort between business, process, and operational owners to manage data. However, data literacy and awareness in the grassroots can make ownership of data and its management more formalized. We can think about a governance function maturing something like data quality as a service, as well as ownership more directed. Thank
I
you.
would agree, Tej. Thank you for your comments. A good data governance function, if it's sufficiently mature, should see itself as data governance as a service, supporting data quality as a service, because most operations in data governance are performed with the end for improved data quality, improved data management, improved metadata management. So it is really a service. And I would not say that most organizations understand that it's a business and IT collaborative effort.
Yeah.
We've consulted with over 150 organizations in the years EWSolutions has been in existence. And I've had the pleasure of working with probably close to 100 of those organizations. I would say the majority of them still struggle, as of this very moment, to see that the management of data, in other words, enterprise data management, is, and two, is a collaborative exercise between the business operations and IT. Most of them still struggle with this, up to this very moment. But you're right. As a service, it would be great to be able to say one day that data management is a service for the enterprise.
Great. So we'll go back to the list of certification that we are talking.
After the technical certifications, there are other certifications that are available but aren't widely known. The Certified Business Intelligence Professional. If you are in the business intelligence, formerly called data warehousing, analytics environment, this is an excellent certification to have because it's very focused on the concepts and best practices for business intelligence, for analytics. It's offered through the Data Warehousing Institute, now known as TDWI. They just don't brand themselves as data warehousing anymore. I hold the CBIP. So when I say that it's an excellent certification, that sounds very self-serving, but I don't mean it that way. It's really valuable for anybody in the data warehousing, business intelligence, advanced analytics, and data science arena. And it's vendor neutral because a lot of the analytics certifications these days are focused on a technical environment. That's fine. But those technical certifications don't provide a rounded view of the concepts and best practices, and earning the CBIP does. Depending on the industry you're in, there are certifications for data professionals in various industries. If you're in any form of insurance, the Insurance Data Management Association runs a variety of certifications which are really valuable. idma.org. They have a bunch of certifications. I won't go into them. You can go to the website.
Right.
And if you are in an energy environment or financial services, there are certifications in financial services and in energy, oil, gas, solar, nuclear, wind, whatever. Those organizations frequently have certifications that are focused on their industry, but they also provide the best practices and concepts for managing data in that industry.
That domain.
I have a background in the financial services certification and in the insurance certifications. Healthcare. If you're in any form of healthcare, either insurance or providers, there are certifications for data management in those two parts of healthcare as well. HIMSS, HIMS, Health Information Management Society.
Oh, this is the news to me. I think that's really because healthcare nowadays, right? I mean, we need more data, kind of data management in any area than this. Corona, COVID-19, whatever. Right? I mean, we have really seen that and it surfaced like anything that we have not managed that area well.
Exactly. One of the healthcare industry's biggest challenges is the proliferation of raw data without any management. It's still difficult to share a.
Okay, so one question again, Nishu Jan is asking, is CIMP a good one to have?
Well, I am never one to dismiss any professional development, any education someone wants to pursue.
Great.
The CIMP is not presented by a certifying body like DAMA. It's a group of people formed a company and built that certification. So earning it, you'll still learn stuff.
Right.
But it's not a designation that is a globally recognized industry professional development organization recognized certification. So I would put it farther down on the list than the other ones I mentioned.
Great. Hope it answered, Nishu Jan. Yeah, thanks for your insight and thanks for your candid, honest,
if you haven't pursued that one and you don't know which one to pursue, I would always choose the CDMP. If you've already earned a CIMP, you have enough knowledge that you may want to study for the data management fundamentals exam from the CDMP and earn the associate level of the CDMP as a companion.
Great. Yep. So I think just to summarize, right, we have talked about why it is important to be continuously add skills, certifications, learning, and why. And we talked about that. We talked about what are the common methods so far to continue to develop your knowledge and professional development certifications, right? We also talked about what are the different certifications available, and I like the way you kind of put together in kind of order, right? And so now probably people will now want to know that, okay, if I know why it is important, if I also know that what are available, how do I take forward if I have suppose chosen one CDMP, for example, right? What are the general guidance or a general approach, step-by-step process that we should consider if I have chosen one certification and I want to do it?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Actually, all your questions are excellent, so I should stop saying that. The CDMP, let's take the CDMP as an example of what you want to study.
Okay.
You want to make sure that you've chosen well. And if we're using this as the example, yes, if you're a data management professional, this is probably the first certification to study for.
Yep.
You want to make sure that you understand the concepts that are presented so that you have an idea of the depth of the certification. The CDMP, it's easy to find what's presented in the data management fundamentals exam. It's online, dama.org/CDMP. You want to schedule your study periods. This is essential. Before you start the certification, you want to ensure that you have enough time each week to devote to studying and mastering the material so that you're ready to take the exam. Usually, the best practice is that you devote 3 to 4 hours a week for study. Some weeks you won't need quite as much. Once or twice you might need a little more. But the rubric is about 3 to 4 hours. It's about 3.5 really hours of study each week for a period of time that is encompassed by the exam study period. So let's say the CDMP has 20 modules because you're studying the DAMA DIMBOK. 3 to 4 hours each week on each of the chapters of the DIMBOK. Go through that. That takes you 20 weeks if you're doing it 3 to 4 hours a week. At the end of those weeks, go back and do a revision, which will probably take you about 8 hours total.
Mhm.
Because if you've spent the time 3 to 4 hours each week, you should have a good background. Go back and do a revision. Take a practice exam. And then schedule writing the exam, actually taking it.
Right.
They're offered online. Schedule it so that you have about 2 weeks or so between the time you finish your revision and you're scheduling the exam, so that you have enough time to prepare for the exam, but that you're not losing any knowledge that you've painstakingly acquired over the study period. And then write the exam. If that happens, if you do that in that progression, the success rate is very high. Once you've finished the data management fundamentals exam and you've passed, you can start the same process for the first one of the specialty exams that you've identified as your specialty's goal. Okay? You go through the same process. When you want to take one of the technical exams, the Oracle certification, the AWS certification, etc., you do the same thing. You want to take the certified business intelligence exam, you do the same thing. If you want to take the business analyst exam, you do the same thing. It's the same process.
Excellent.
Just different content.
Great. So with your, I know, thanks for sharing your, personal experience. I think, you talked about how you did. So
Yes.
very, very much, I'm very much sure, and I'm sure audience are also going to be very sure about the process, that it just worked because you are now CDMP certified already. So that's really great. I think we really can do a lot of discussion because it's really a passionate topic. And once you start talking about data, things or other will keep coming, and we can definitely indulge in so much conversation. I'll take one question which I saw popping here from Justin. Justin again, are there any specific programs or certification that you would recommend for those working within the public sector?
Justin, please respond. Do you mean public sector, government agencies, nonprofits, etc.?
Yeah, we'll wait for that.
We'll wait for that. But the answer is not really. Public sector is no different from the private sector. We have, I shouldn't say we have, I know many people who are in government agencies, nonprofit organizations, who hold the exact certifications I've mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no difference. The concepts are the same, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, the public sector may not recognize the value of the certifications as readily, because some organizations are new to data management as a profession. You can help advance the profession by earning certifications while you're working in the public sector.
Yeah, he said government to your answer.
Government, yes, absolutely. I can think of quite a few people in government in various states around the United States and in states and provinces around the world that are CDMP certified, CIBP certified, PMP certified, etc. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Justin, for asking this very important question. I know if I can think about India, right? I mean, I keep saying that there is a lot that we have to do for data around this. We have to have a body like DAMA over here. We have to encourage people to really understand and value DMBOK, CDMP certification, and really understanding the overall fundamental concept before jumping into obviously a technical thing. I am also a technical person, but I do value the foundation first, and then kind of think that we should be able to look at the technicality. So great question. I have one more question which we will take, and then after that we will try to see if we can wrap this. So Mr. Jain, is reading DMBOK 2 enough to take up the DAMA exam, or we should also be looking at some other reading material apart from it? Great question.
Excellent question. In fact, I was going to mention this and I forgot. Thank you, Nishu. To study for the CDMP exams, the Bible is the DAMA DMBOK. That's the guide you need. because the exams are based on the DAMA-DIMBOK version 2. Okay? So knowing that very, very well, all the content in that book is essential to passing not just the CDMP, the fundamentals exam, the data management fundamentals exam, which everyone who earns the CDMP has to pass first. Also, the content for the specialty exams comes from the DIMBOK as well. There are other reading materials you can use to enhance your knowledge, many of them found at places like datamanagementu.com, that will help you, but they're not essential to passing the CDMP. They'll be more of a polish to your knowledge.
Maybe a quick reference. I said maybe a quick reference for people to polish that, but DMBOK is essentially what you're saying.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, there are. It's good to have other sources to enhance your knowledge, to polish it, such as datamanagementu.com. But the DIMBOK is the essential book for all the CDMP exams.
Perfect. Great. So again, as we are very close, or in fact over, but I loved the conversation. I'm sure people can always refer to this important, very important, and one of the first call of the year in Data Kickback. So the summary is like, we talked about why we have to continue to educate ourselves, learn, add new skills, certification, professional education as such. We talked about why, because we need to know the purpose, right? Why we should do something that we are doing. First one is that, and thanks, for the great explanation around that. We talked about what are some of the methods that is there, and that people can definitely do that. And you also shared, nice way in order that what are the various certifications and options available for data professionals to really, pursue. And once they are kind of fixed on certain certification that they want to pursue, and the first one should be CDMP is what you shared, how to proceed, how to approach, what are the different steps that they should take to be successful. So
one thing I would mention, Sanjeev, to interrupt you, is something I didn't say earlier. There are a couple preparation courses for the CDMP, because taking the CDMP requires that you read the DIMBOK a lot. There are some courses that will help guide you through that reading. One of them is a course run by datamanagementeducation.com, all one word, datamanagementeducation.com, which is a guided study program. And then there are a couple others that are available. But those courses will help the student go through the DIMBOK on a right schedule and not be overwhelmed with, I have a 729-page book to read. You really want me to read all of that 729 pages? Yes, we do, and we probably want you to read it twice. Taking one of the prep courses will help with that. Absolutely. In fact, most of them have a 90-some% success rate in passing.
That's really a great percentage.
Datamanagementeducation.com is where one of them is.
So I think, and one of the things I can add, that with your experience of consulting 150 plus organization, it will not be only a reading for that, the book that we are talking about, DIMBOK, but you might just add those practical experiences to the topics or to the concept, so that it is very much concrete and people can relate with it. So I think there is an advantage in making that happen. So if you have any need and interest in pursuing that, do feel free to contact and go to the EWSolutions website, and or maybe you can directly email or drop a message to Dr. Anne Mary Smith.
Absolutely. And if you're on LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn.
Awesome. So send a connection request, and she would be able to happily accept and guide you with your CDMP journey, if at all you are fixing on that.
I know
right?
the 3 people who asked questions are already connections of mine on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for all your questions today.
Great. So I think more than anything else, I'm so excited. As I keep saying, I learn so much when I talk to people like you, and that's the whole idea behind the show Data Ki Baat. And it's really empowering, really learning a lot of good things that I have learned, and I'm sure whoever will listen to this after this show as well would learn. And feel free to talk to me and Dr. Anne Mary Smith for anything that you want to know about certification, continuing education, and anything data. So thank you very much.
Anything data. Thank you, Sanjeev. I was honored to be invited, and I hope that I can come back to expand knowledge in in areas of data management, like data governance, like metadata management. I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm really honored to have you on the show. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you again, Dr. Anne Mary Smith, for joining me today. Goodbye. Thank